This is like a first video in the Asmodeus series. So after I finished the set course, I decided to dedicate much more time to working because that's the only thing in which I find fulfillment, working. So this will be a first video in a really long series dedicated to Asmodeus. This channel will be Asmodeus focused from now on. So the first video in the series will be tackling two topics. First, how to set up a demonic altar, what is a demonic altar, and also another topic which will be tackled will be how to set up a altar to Asmodeus specifically. So let's first explain what is the demonic altar. It is essentially a place in the veil between the worlds on which the veil is weakened. So let's first discuss what is the veil. The veil is like an invisible energetic barrier between the worlds which is set up so that spirits cannot influence us as effectively and we cannot call spirits effectively. So the point of setting up an altar is to weaken that veil so that we can offer things to the spirits and spirits can offer things to us. However, there are certain things I need to warn my audience about before we discuss altars. And that is the fact that every altar is like a portal into the world of the spirit the altar is dedicated to. And that energy will influence not only the room, but it will influence the entire area around you. And it will, be a significant influence, which will be absorbed by your environment, and animals and humans and everything. So you need to be really careful to who and how you are dedicating an altar, especially if the altar is in your house, because fundamentally it will influence everything. So my suggestion is to set up an altar in nature or somewhere where you don't live in order to prevent an unnecessary influence on your environment you cannot control. And you need to be really careful to who and to what you are setting up your altar to. And that's something you need to take great care about. It's something which you shouldn't take lightly and really take this seriously. Now, to set up a general demonic altar, you need 2 candles, one red and one black. You need to set them up as 2 pillars. One on the left side, one on the right side, Then you need to put up a sigil of the demon you want to erect an altar to in the middle of the candles. Then you need to call a demon using general demonic evocation you will see in the following parts of this video. After you do that, then what is expected is for you to simply light an incense in front of a sigil of the demon, in front of the candles, and tell him that you are dedicating an altar to him in the space you already set up. So you first set up an altar, then you summon the spirit, and then you tell him to dedicate this space to himself, So, in the continuation of this video, you will learn how to summon demons, general demonic evocation. And then in the third part of this video, we will talk about essentially how to set up an altar to Asmodeus specifically. So this will be my more or less complete course on summoning any demon you wish. This will not contain any editings. So if you really wish to benefit from this instructional, I would ask you to simply, how can I say, I will ask you to simply listen to it multiple times. I am not sure can I post videos in upcoming time, because a lot of things are changing in my life. But I wanted this video to be a sublimation of everything I wanted to say in the past 4 years of the channel. And this is what I wanted to do. To, from the beginning, create instructional on summoning the darker forces, which would be beneficial and safe to as much people as possible, as well as accessible to disabled individuals. So let's start. The first thing you need to understand about summoning darker forces is that it is a risky ordeal, which will take time. I am not doing it to terrify. I am speaking from objective experience as well as statistical observation of this community. You see, in this community, about 70% of people who try to practice those arts go clinically insane. And there is a reason for it. There is no accurate preparation of consciousness for merging with those entities and preparing of the mind for accumulating the dark energies which will follow. Also, preparing the body, the physical vessel, is really important. So, the first thing you need to do before you start summoning anything is get your physical body in as healthy a state as possible. If you are severely physically ill, to the point you cannot make yourself more physically functional, then I don't advise summoning those spirits. What I mean by partially physically functional is you need to be comfortable sitting and lying. Your chronic pain shouldn't be crippling enough so that you cannot sit or lie properly. Being able to sit and lie is a minimum your body has to have in order for you to try. You need to have some general semblance of physical health. So before you start summoning any entities, train a little, train for a few months, and make yourself as physically healthy as possible. Make sure that your diet is healthy, and make sure that you are not heavily suicidal. What is not commonly known is that working with those darker entities is really demanding, mentally, physically, and otherwise. And it should be approached as material art. It should be approached as a dangerous endeavor. It should be approached as using a firearm. Firearms are not the bad thing, but if you mishandle it, you can shoot yourself and kill yourself. The same with spirits. Spirits are not evil, but spirits can be really dangerous if you are not in proper state of mind and it's some general semblance of physical health. My advice to you is to simply stay away. Now, if you have some general semblance of physical health, if you're able to comfortably sit or lie, and if you are enough stable so that you don't think about hanging yourself every 15 minutes, you can proceed to prepare to summon the spirits. Draw a circle around yourself. Sit in a cross-legged position comfortably and meditate in a circle. Now, what you will do now is you will simply visualize the black sun radiating above your head into the edges of the circle. You will hold this visualization until you can feel the black rays of the black sun radiating from the edges of the circle. This is what you need to train. You also need to work on all of your 7 chakras and open them up. You need to master basic meditation and learn how to clear your mind. You should focus on those 3 things for a year before starting to summon any spirit, in order to preserve your mental clarity and mental strength, so that when you summon entities, you don't go crazy. So now you meditated, learned to raise the sacred space, and worked on your chakras for a year. You have also worked to strengthen your physical body as much as possible, took a healthy diet, and took care of your mental health. Now you are ready to summon entities. Now you are ready to summon spirits. Take the spirit of your choosing. Any demon you would like. It doesn't matter which one. The year of learning how to raise a sacred space will open up your astral senses. Building a connection to the black sun is really important, and that will give you a fundamentals necessary to open senses, to open ability to perceive those spirits. Now, there is only one single magical chant you will use to call all of those spirits. By the power of the Sabaoth, by the power of the left side of God, I call you, and then you put the name of the demon in question. Once you learn how to raise a sacred space, and once you raise it on a daily basis, there is no way that imposter spirits will come in a circle. After doing this for a year, your ability to perceive spirits and energies will be really strongly open. My advice is this: repeat the chant I said in the sacred space until you feel presence with you in the circle or pressure. Once that happens, give spirit a little bit of your own blood, and then give your request. Perform this ritual twice a month, every month, until your health and your request manifests. For the rest of the month, simply meditate, raise a space, and participate in your daily routine. And also exercise as hard as possible. As a beginner, you need to prepare for summoning spirits for a year. You shouldn't summon them more than twice a month in the first year. After the first year, you can build up summonings to twice a week. Once you build up in those 3 years really healthy body and really strong mind, then you can do daily invocations, daily summonings, daily ritual. While you are working with the spirit on the goal you set, Also, think about what practical things you can do to achieve your goal outside of spirits. Don't summon them more than twice a month in the first 2 years. In the first year, don't summon them at all. Just meditate and learn to raise a sacred space. This is the most efficient and safe way to work with spirits I found so far, through multiple channeling sessions and years of practice. I didn't knew those guidelines and I didn't follow them, and I paid dearly and did irreparable damage to myself. Learn from my example and follow those guidelines. Your life will improve. You will have healthy body, healthy mind, and enough spiritual ability to manifest what you want. Don't go into those arts too quickly. Spiritual world will not run away. If you go into this too quickly, the consequences, the destruction, and the dangers can be too much to handle. And it is too much to handle for a majority of people who go into this path. About 2/3 of people who go on this path go too quickly and they simply go insane or create some crazy health issue for themselves as a consequence of their practice. Be really disciplined, meditate, train, and eat healthy for a year. Learn to raise the space. In the second year of your practice, call the spirit of your choosing twice a week. Every time spirit arrives, give him a little bit of blood. Don't call more than twice a week. If you cannot handle twice a week, do it twice a month. This is all I have to say. This is the shortest, simplest, and the most effective and safest tutorial I found so far. I wish you luck in your endeavors. Demetrius will be absent for a time. So now we'll talk about how to set up an altar to Asmodeus specifically. You need, together with a candle, one specific dagger. You need Asmodeus seal and you need something to bleed, to draw blood with. So for Asmodeus specifically, you need to summon him, and then after you summon him, you need to essentially offer 9 drops of your blood upon the seal. And then say the following words: I open the gateway of your blood to my blood, Asmodeus. And then, after that is done, you lay the dagger in front of the seal and you address Asmodeus in the following words: through the blood of my blood and then through the blood of your blood, I fuse these essences and I call you to consecrate this dagger. And then you cut yourself a little bit with a blade and you allow Asmodeus to infuse this blade with your essence and with his essence. And that's the end of the ritual. This creates a permanent gateway from the Asmodeus realm into your realm, and it is indeed powerful. However, be warned, I gave all the necessary warnings, so do it with caution and be ready for really chaotic, possibly bloody consequences. However, spiritual knowledge, physical strength, and power will follow, as well as adversity, so it's kinda your choice, will you do this or not.